History loves a twist. Sometimes, the most unexpected stories are the ones that shape our world the most. The tale of Ethiopia and Italy is one such story, a narrative that defies the odds and rewrites what we think we know about enemies and allies. Once bitter enemies, Ethiopia and Italy now stand as partners. Their relationship, once defined by conflict and mistrust, has transformed into one of cooperation and mutual respect. Today, their leaders meet not as adversaries, but as equals, working toward shared goals. In 1936, Italian tanks rolled through Addis Ababa. The city fell under foreign control, and the scars of occupation ran deep. For many, the idea of future cooperation would have seemed not just unlikely, but impossible, a distant dream in the shadow of war. Their past is marked by invasion, occupation, and defiance. Names like Adwa and Mussolini still echo through the generations. The Battle of Adwa, a symbol of Ethiopian resistance, and the speeches of Mussolini, a reminder of imperial ambition, are etched into the collective memory of both nations. Yet in 2026, the headlines are about joint ventures, not battles. News outlets now report on economic partnerships, cultural exchanges, and collaborative projects that benefit both countries. The focus has shifted from conflict to progress, from division to unity. Italy, once the aggressor, is now a key European partner for Ethiopia. Together, they sign agreements that pave the way for investment, education, and innovation. The European Union, once a distant observer, now supports their collaboration, recognizing the power of reconciliation. Children of former soldiers are now engineers and diplomats, working side by side. The new generation is building bridges, literally and figuratively, where their ancestors once built barricades. They share ideas, solve problems, and dream of a future where partnership replaces rivalry. This transformation shows that no conflict is the final chapter. Cities rise from the ashes of war, and new stories are written every day. The sunrise over Addis Ababa and Rome is a daily reminder that hope can follow even the darkest nights. How did these old enemies become collaborators? It took decades of diplomacy, countless conversations, and a willingness to move forward. Trust was rebuilt, step by step, through small gestures and bold decisions. The journey was not easy, but it was possible. The story of Ethiopia and Italy is a roadmap for turning pain into partnership. It's a testament to the resilience of nations and the power of forgiveness. Their alliance is not just about politics, it's about people, and the belief that tomorrow can be better than yesterday. It's proof that even the deepest wounds can heal and build something stronger together. In the end, the alliance between Ethiopia and Italy reminds us that history is not set in stone. With courage and vision, even the most unlikely alliances can change the world. To truly understand the roots of today's alliance and the enduring spirit of Ethiopia, we must journey back to the pivotal year of 1935, a year that would forever alter the nation's destiny and leave scars that still echo through generations. In 1935, Mussolini's fascist Italy, driven by imperial ambition and a desire to erase the humiliation suffered at the Battle of Adwa decades earlier, launched a full-scale invasion of Ethiopia. The world watched as Italian troops, emboldened by modern weaponry and nationalist fervor, crossed into Ethiopian territory. The invasion was nothing short of devastating. Italy unleashed tanks, aircraft, and, most infamously, poison gas, modern tools of war that overwhelmed Ethiopia's defenses. Villages were bombed, civilians targeted, and chemical weapons left a haunting legacy of suffering. Despite being outgunned and outnumbered, Ethiopian resistance, led by the resolute Emperor Haile Selassie, fought valiantly. Armed with little more than courage, determination, and traditional rifles, they stood against the might of a modern army, refusing to surrender their homeland. The world's eyes turned to the League of Nations, hoping for intervention. Yet, the League's response was weak and ineffective. Sanctions were imposed, but they failed to halt the aggression. Ethiopia stood alone, betrayed by the very institution meant to protect it. The consequences for ordinary Ethiopians were catastrophic. Families were torn apart, entire communities displaced, and countless lives lost. The occupation left deep wounds, both physical and emotional, that would take generations to heal. Italian rule was marked by brutality and repression. Massacres, such as those ordered by General Graziani in 1937, shocked the world with their cruelty. The occupiers sought to crush Ethiopian identity and spirit through violence and fear. Yet even in the darkest moments, the spirit of resistance endured. Ethiopian partisans took to the mountains, villagers hid from patrols, and the dream of freedom never faded from their hearts. The 5-year occupation became a powerful symbol of immense suffering, yes, but also of unbreakable resilience. Memorials and scarred landscapes still bear witness to the pain and the courage of those years. Out of this pain, Ethiopia forged an unbreakable will to remain free. The struggle and sacrifice of those years became the foundation for a renewed sense of national pride and unity. When liberation finally came, it was not just a military victory, but a triumph of the human spirit. Ethiopia began to rebuild, determined to reclaim its place in the world, and to honor the memory of those who had suffered and resisted. Even in defeat, Ethiopia's spirit could not be conquered. The legacy of 1935 lives on, inspiring new generations to cherish their freedom and cultural heritage, and to remember that resilience can turn even the darkest chapters into stories of hope. Occupation didn't break Ethiopia. It sparked a fierce resistance. The Abegnok, or patriots, waged guerrilla war across the land. Haile Selassie, in exile, warned the world. "It is us today. It will be you tomorrow." His words foreshadowed World War II. As the world ignored Ethiopia's plight, the resistance tied down Italian forces and kept hope alive. The cost was immense. Entire communities suffered reprisals, but the fight never stopped. In 1941, with Allied help, Ethiopian patriots liberated their country. Haile Selassie's triumphant return marked more than victory. It restored national pride. Ethiopia's legacy became one of defiance and dignity. The world saw that a nation's spirit can outlast any occupation. After the war, Ethiopia and Italy's relationship was strained and distant. The scars of conflict lingered in the memories of both nations, casting a long shadow over diplomatic ties. For years, suspicion and silence defined their interactions, as each side grappled with the painful legacy of occupation and resistance. Reconciliation began slowly, with embassies reopening and cautious diplomacy. Small gestures, like the exchange of ambassadors and the resumption of official talks, signaled the first steps toward healing. Yet beneath the formalities, there remained a sense of uncertainty as both countries tested the waters of renewed engagement. The return of looted treasures like the obelisk of Axum became symbols of justice. These acts were more than diplomatic gestures. They were acknowledgments of past wrongs and attempts to restore dignity to a wounded nation. Each artifact returned was a step toward mending trust and honoring Ethiopia's cultural heritage. In 2005, Italy's return of the obelisk marked a turning point. The event was celebrated not only as the homecoming of a national treasure, but as a public act of reconciliation. Crowds gathered to witness history, their faces reflecting hope for a future built on respect and understanding. Italian leaders began to acknowledge colonial wrongs, opening the door to real dialogue. Public speeches and official statements recognized the suffering caused by the past, and for the first time, there was a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths. This honesty laid the foundation for a more open relationship. The narrative shifted from grievance to partnership. New agreements focused on cooperation in areas like education, culture, and development, reflecting a shared commitment to move forward together. The wounds of history were not forgotten, but they no longer defined the relationship. Both nations had to confront the past, Italy with honesty, Ethiopia with forgiveness. Public remembrance and education became important tools for healing, as citizens on both sides learned to see each other not as adversaries, but as partners in a shared story. This process was delicate, but essential. Gradually, trust replaced suspicion. Through dialogue, cultural exchanges, and community events, the two countries built new bridges, fostering understanding at every level of society. The groundwork was laid for a new era of cooperation. Joint projects in infrastructure, health, and education became symbols of a partnership rooted in mutual benefit and respect. These collaborations showed that shared goals could overcome even the deepest divides. The journey proved that even the deepest wounds can heal. Through patience, humility, and a willingness to listen, Ethiopia and Italy demonstrated that reconciliation is possible, even after decades of pain. Today's partnership stands on decades of careful reconciliation. The story of these two nations is a testament to the enduring power of dialogue, and the belief that history's lessons can guide us toward a better future. It's a testament to the power of time, truth, and mutual respect. As Ethiopia and Italy continue to write new chapters together, their journey reminds us all that healing is possible, and that with courage and compassion, even the most difficult histories can give way to hope. In the 21st century, Italy's approach shifted from aid to partnership. Investments focused on education, infrastructure, and job creation. Italian scholarships and vocational training empowered Ethiopia's youth. Infrastructure projects modernized healthcare, water, and agriculture. The 2023 Cooperation Framework and the Mattei Plan for Africa made Ethiopia a pilot for equal partnership. Italy's strategy is now about building together, not giving handouts. It's a dramatic reversal from the colonial past. Now, it's mutual growth. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, GERD, is the crown jewel of this partnership. Built with Italian expertise, GERD will double Ethiopia's power output. Italian engineers and Ethiopian workers collaborate on a project that symbolizes ambition and reconciliation. Knowledge transfer is as important as concrete. Ethiopian engineers gain world-class skills. Italian firms also help build roads and other dams, laying the foundation for economic growth. These projects are declarations of self-sufficiency for Ethiopia and engineering pride for Italy. Every megawatt generated is proof of what former adversaries can achieve together. This is co-development, not exploitation. Trade now flourishes between Ethiopia and Italy. Italy exports machinery and technology. Ethiopia sends coffee, textiles, and leather. Ethiopian coffee fuels Italian mornings, while Italian equipment powers Ethiopian factories. Trade creates jobs and opportunities on both sides. Legal work corridors allow Ethiopians to work in Italy, benefiting both economies. As Ethiopia grows, so does demand for Italian goods, a virtuous cycle. This is not colonial extraction, but mutual benefit. The new trade routes are built on respect and shared prosperity. Good business has become good diplomacy. The partnership extends to culture and heritage. Italy now helps restore Ethiopian treasures, like the churches of Lalibela. Italian cultural institutes in Addis Ababa foster exchange through art, music, and language. The return of the Tsehai, Ethiopia's first aircraft, was a powerful gesture of respect. These acts build trust and heal old wounds. Scholarships and artifact returns invest in a shared future. Cultural ties are the glue of this new relationship. Together, they weave a tapestry that honors the past and celebrates a shared future. This is reconciliation in action, beyond politics, into the hearts of both nations. Today, Ethiopia and Italy are models of reconciliation. Frequent high-level meetings and summits drive real progress. The Italy-Africa summits, including one in Addis Ababa, put Ethiopia at the center of Italy's Africa strategy. Nearly 100 joint projects are underway, from agriculture to security. The 2019 defense agreement turned old conflict into modern cooperation. Challenges remain, but the foundation is strong. This partnership shows that history need not be a prison. Former enemies can become allies by facing the past and building the future together. Ethiopia and Italy's story is a message of hope for a divided world. It proves that shared prosperity and reconciliation are possible, even after the deepest divides.